What are you sick and tired of? Write in the comments what you think about it. What are you sick and tired of? Enjoy the show. Story 1. Selfishness and celebrating that selfishness. Half the people in this country have a look-at-me lifestyle and it's so boring. The most particular one I am sick and tired of is the fake social activists. They claim to support something, but their lifestyle shows you the complete opposite. Story 2. People constantly demonizing a tool instead of demonizing those that would use it negatively. For example, AI. Yeah, AI itself is not inherently bad, but it can certainly be used for shady stuff by some less than reputable people. It's just another tool. Think of it like a hammer. I could use a hammer to build a home for the homeless, or I could use that hammer to bludgeon a homeless guy. The tool is not the one sinning, the wielder of the tool is, and this is hard for a lot of people to grasp. Story 3. I am sick and tired of Christianity. There are so many homophobic evangelical pastors, abusive and pedophilic priests in Catholicism, factually false and absurdly contradictory writings in the Bible, and for-profit megachurches based on Christianity that exist only to brainwash people in the hopes of getting their hard-earned money. Story 4. Corporate greed. Between overpricing necessity items like food, buying out blocks of housing, and raising rent prices to underpaying company employees, I'm over it. Every single person has a right to food and shelter, and to see so many hardworking individuals barely being able to find a place to rent, pay bills, and eat is not acceptable. People working 2, even 3 jobs shouldn't be sleeping in their car. I also can't stand that instead of lowering C-suite frills, they are cutting people's jobs. Story 5. Ignorant people. Life is too short to be miserable and making other people miserable with you. Stop it. Everybody has a problem. Everybody is dealing with something. Stop being stupid. Stop being rude. Stop being ignorant. We need to learn to just STFU and move on sometimes if we aren't going to do anything to help a situation or person. I don't understand why we make life so much harder for ourselves. It doesn't have to be this way. Story 6. How fucking hard it is to get adequate health care. Insurance and cost aside, the actual care part of it. It took 3 months to diagnose the ganglion cyst I had on my wrist. Numerous tests, unbearable pain every day for 12 weeks, burning, tingling, numbness 24/7. Finally, an ultrasound was performed and the problem spotted immediately. Then I had to pay half up front for the surgery before they'd even schedule it. With insurance. Don't get me started how long it took to diagnose my RA. 2 years in and I don't feel any better. The steroids packed 30+ lbs on me, which doesn't help the arthritis. None of the meds have worked well. My right elbow hurts constantly and my hands constantly tingle and feel numb. It's painful and constant. Imagine you've slept on your hand for hours. You wake up, it's asleep, and it's that god-awful tingling that hurts like fuck. That is what my hands feel like 24/7. So fun. The pain meds for RA don't even ease a headache. I'm currently sitting in the parking lot at my rheumatologist office, and I have no hope that anything will change with appointment, except I'll be $90 poorer. ETA. And that extra weight? I've been walking a lot and eating healthy and counting calories, and it's not budging. The healthy lifestyle is preventing me from gaining more while I'm still on these steroids that aren't helping at all. Fun times. Sorry, I just needed a good rant, lol. Story 7. People who can't fathom others living very different lives than them, so they just accuse them of lying or being too stupid/inexperienced to know better. I get that theory of mind is hard, and it's difficult to have empathy for something you don't experience, but the tendency to assume someone is just lying if they say they live very differently than you is so small-minded and needlessly aggressive. What business is it of yours if someone in the world thinks your favorite activity sounds like torture, or if they don't have a habit you've had your entire life? How is it such a threat to you? One I run into a lot is people who cannot fathom differing food tastes. No, Brenda, there is nothing morally suspicious about not liking ranch dressing. Some of us just think it smells gross. We don't think badly of you for enjoying it. We just don't enjoy it ourselves. No, trying it a 15th time is not going to change this. Probably one of the worst ones is people who don't get asexuality, though. Some people just don't feel that sexual pull towards other people. It ain't that deep. You know how you don't feel it for 98% of the people you meet? Well, for them, it's 100%. Nothing unusual, nothing heartbreaking, they just lack a feeling. Some people don't feel pulled to dancing either, but you don't get all wooey about that. Story 8. The cost of living. Holy fuck. I make more money than I could have dreamed. If you told me I'd have this salary when I was 20, I'd have imagined a sports car, 2,500 square feet home and in-ground pool. Reality is a 2010 Corolla, a 90-year-old house that's falling the fuck apart. I recognize others are struggle much harder. The economy is fucked. Story 9, people not understanding inflation. Look, we all want to be able to say, inflation is underscore. But the truth is, inflation is complicated. Is it money supply? Yes, but also not always. Is it corporate greed? Yes, but also not always. Is it wage growth? Sorta, but also not exactly. Is it excess demand over supply? Kinda, but also not entirely. The truth is that economists start with a basic assumption that, while individuals might be unpredictable, humans in the aggregate are predictable, so we can essentially ignore the human element as a complex variable and treat it as a single variable. Economists are largely wrong about that. And complicating matters even further, this particular inflation period has factors may have little in relation to this other inflation period factors. We're not depicting Boyle's law here, or Newton's laws of motion. The truth of the matter is that since all of this is just human interaction and humans are notoriously complicated even in the aggregate, it's damn near impossible to pin inflation on one and only one thing most of the time. Story 10, sick and tired of, coupled with extreme jealousy, is seeing my best friends and closest family thrive financially when it seems like I am underwater financially all the time. I can't plan vacations, buy things I actually need, like decent shoes, a decent car, new window ACs, a decent haircut, a house, etc. All the while my friends are buying brand new SUVs, adding additions to their homes in ground pools, boats, cars, beach house vacations. The list goes on. I have a BS degree, job in finance, and only $500 to my name at any given point. I am becoming resentful of my most loved ones, and I don't know what to do or how to fix it. A second job is a possibility, but I have obligations at home and some chronic new health issues that would be difficult to work a second job outside of my apartment. I am so lost. Story 11. Being skilled in e-commerce and still broke because I can't raise capital while supporting a family of 6. Finding jobs related to my work is also difficult and takes time, but I guess it's still possible. Just knowing your potential and not being able to reach it is very demotivating and depressing, and it makes working hard and giving it my all a real challenge. I feel guilty venting about it because I know if I work hard enough and do more, I can get myself in a better situation. Story 12. The mentality that, just because you don't like something you should put up with it for other people's sake. Yes, sometimes this is necessary, the right and moral and empathetic thing to do. But in so many fucking cases, you're just torturing yourself and never getting to live life the way you want to. For example, just because someone has children, I don't have to drop everything to take care of them in case they're incompetent/unwilling to do so. Similarly, if someone at an event made a type of food that I just don't like, I'm not going to force myself to eat it starve. I'll make something I like, and that's that. This sounds perfectly rational to me, but there's so many people who will immediately call you selfish for wanting your own space/time/belongings/etc. Story 13. Substance addiction. It was severe alcoholism for about 12 years. Went to rehab then when I got out, started experimenting with shrooms, which I quickly began abusing. Stopped, then got introduced to ketamine, which led to cocaine, which led to Xanax, which led to GHB, which eventually led to an alcohol relapse, and cocaine combination, which resulted in a heart attack, which then led to nitrous oxide, which led back to cocaine. Now I'm fucking dying, all before age 30. I'll be 29 next week and I live every day. Not even confident I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. I'm just so sick of it, but I cannot stop myself. My heart hurts. I've lost everything to addiction. And I feel alone in it all. Even when people reach out, I just feel like I'm good as dead. Story 14. All of the above, along with high prices and higher corporate profits. There's a saying, it's not how much you earn, rather, it's how much you keep. The US should have a wealth tax because clearly the wealthy have too much to spend. Why tax the income of people struggling to get by, especially if they are also paying sales taxes, property taxes, fuel taxes, utilities taxes in addition to income taxes. Story 15. Working. I hate working. I work so hard and never have any money to show for it. I hate having a boss and coworkers and acting professional and basically being held hostage to working where if I don't have a job, I will starve and be homeless and die. It seems like there has to be more to life, but ultimately there is not because I have to work to live. Story 16. waking up at 4:35 days a week to go work for a majority of my day, including commuting, then having to go home and do errands and chores to finally get a break at the end of the week for only 2 days that fly by due to more chores and errands, then looking at my paycheck and realizing it barely made a dent in my debt, and continuing to do it over and over until hopefully I retire. But they want to raise the retirement age anyways, so there's no true end of work in sight. Story 17. I think I'm tired of everything having parts of society change from public service or civil service to a snatch and grab and having the media put the worst possible options in front of us. You look elsewhere, and somehow other countries manage to provide healthcare, education, and whatnot, but in the US at least everything is amped up to 11, and it's meant to be exhausting. So it obligates every one of us to put the effort in, to say no to some horrible choice just one more time than some clown on TV demands we say yes. It's exhausting, but it's necessary. Story 18. Living trapped in a marketing ecosystem where penalties only apply to born poor, not the generational ruling elite wealthy. Tired of seeing a fat orange fuck get literally unprecedented deference shown to a child-raping daughter-fucking traitor that stole and gave away our national security. I'm sick of knowing no matter what I do, I die poor in the street, while billionaire perverts get booted from ultra-kink exclusive clubs catering billionaire perverts. I'm tired of knowing we have a list of powerful pedos like Trump and it's ignored. I'm tired of being inundated with bullshit news about nothing. Rage bait culture, clickbait politics, fascists, being forced to watch people elected by brainwash mouth-breathing reality-denying morons literally call for murdering me, and it's just considered talk if I say I'm banned and the FBI is on the way. But nope, the GQP can engage carte blanche openly in stochastic terrorism, but it no big deal, huh? I'm sick of seeing nobody take a stand and do something. Story 19. Greed. Raising prices with salaries that fall behind. Corporate greed. Trump/Republicans/uneducated people with a vote. All the same. Potato potato. Greedy racist orange man. Forced to choose between two garbage old men options to run the free world. Less greedy, but advances his family. Nancy Pelosi and her stocks. Israel, stop being assholes. Russia, stop being assholes. No, we don't respect you more because you attacked a country you used to own. Remote work monitoring, either trust me or fire me, I don't care. Global warming is treated like the red-headed stepchild of issues. Like we know we need to care about this, but it feels like it's only for show, and deep down the world/corporations/politicians don't care. Story 20. Being milked for cash by fucking everything now. Even canned goods are expensive, which goes against the fucking purpose of having canned goods. Otherwise, it feels like whenever I pay for anything, they are trying to get the max dollar they can out of me. Whether it's rent, an internet bill, or a fucking broccoli. No one wants to help now, it's all just greed and climbing the capitalist ladder. Story 21. At this particular moment, not being allowed to do my job. Got a new boss at work who believes that the best way to make customers happy is to say yes to them all the time. Used to be my job to tell people, no, we're not going to do that. Now I get to tell them, of course we'll do that. And now we're doing stuff that is absurdly unreasonable, but it makes the customer happy, and that is our entire point now, I guess. Story 22. Political polarization. It seems like everyone gets a different set of facts nowadays, and if you even consider arguments from the other side, it's like you're a traitor to your party or political side. I have friends and family from both sides of the aisle, and they seem to be getting more and more extreme even just compared to 2 years ago, especially the right-wingers. It's all full emotion now, too. If you dare propose an alternate view to them, or slightly disagree, it will just end up with them yelling at you and either calling you brainwashed or a bigot. It's exhausting. Story 23. Living in a country with a hostage situation economy. I'm from the UK. I went to Japan on holiday this year. Japan isn't a holy grail country, but it gets a few things very right. You know what my favorite thing was? Vending machines. Not wacky vending machines, just the regular ones. The fact that you can be in the Hokkaido wilderness with nothing but bears and murder hornets for company, 50 miles from the nearest person, but still only be 12 meters away from a vending machine, serving a selection of around 30 different drinks, including iced tea and coffee, possibly including beer and hot coffee, all of which are charged at more or less convenience store prices. Meanwhile, in my country, you're at the bottom of a university building or at a sports center or a train station and you find yourself thirsty and there's a vending machine. Pepsi Max. I don't really like cola. Do you do anything else? No. Do you do regular Pepsi? No. Only Pepsi Max. Well, that sucks, but I need something. How much is a can? £2 70 pence. What? But in the shop you can get a 2L bottle for £2? Yes, but where else are you going to go? And I see it everywhere now. All the time, these hostage situations. In Japan, people use railways a lot, so all the stations are fully of restaurants serving good quality food for reasonable prices. Meanwhile, in the UK, every food stand in a railway station seems to have gone through the conversation of, "Hey boss, should we make good quality or reasonably priced food and sell it to 100 people? No, you moron. We're going to make bad quality food and charge exorbitant prices and sell it to 10 people. That's a much better business model. There are trade-offs, and I valued our individuality over the extreme collectivism. But does it honestly have to be as bad as this? Story 24. The misinformation surrounding the cannabis industry. There currently exists a regulatory legislative conundrum regarding the definitions of hemp and marijuana at both the state and federal levels. It is a simple issue that has been made significantly more difficult due to money and spin. Story 25. Comparing Biden and Dear Leader. 2024 has zero to do with policy, the economy, or anything else. Dear Leader will usher in the end of democracy as we know it, full stop. Anyone, primarily the MSM, acting like there is a logical and sensible decision between the two is simply fanning the flames so they beef up their ratings. Story 26. Fucking woman, just women in general. Every day I see and hear women just trashing men and being as hypocritical as one can be. And it's just annoying because here's the truth that everyone knows, women included. Men can be pigs and cruel and dishonest, but not even close in comparison when it comes to women. You ladies are by far worse in every way. I know far more honest and loyal and decent men than I do women, and by a very large gap, and the truth is it's nothing new, it's always been that way, especially when it comes to honesty. Now, I know there are, of course, exceptions to women just like there are for men, but you have a better chance of being eaten by a fucking shark than you do finding an honest and loyal and trustworthy woman, and that's a simple fact. Story 27. How the American government will allow big corporations to do whatever they want. Just found out Costco has placed their rotisserie chickens in plastic bags. 137 million of these lil things were sold just this year. The issue is that they did not verify on the bag what type of plastic it is, which is a big no-no, and if it is safe because it is under a heat lamp and with some plastics, it can leak chemicals into the food because it cannot bear the heat lamps. Multiple people have called the corporate office about this issue, and no one has gotten a response. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, like it, be sure to write comments and share your stories.